Thanks for joining us on Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. Stu, Rich and Mike Wood here to take you through the big card at Royal Randwick this weekend. We've got plenty of information coming your way through the quaddie legs. We've got best bets, a lot of value. Also the $100 hot seat later in the show. And Mike, the long weekend, it's come and gone. Congratulations to all those Roosters and Eagles fans out there. Look, back to the racing oats, spring champion this weekend. And I tell you what, mate, it's only 1 week till everyone gets to climb Everest.
Yeah, it's a big intro. It's been a big week, hasn't it, Stu? Great to be with you on a Thursday night. It's a big week coming up with the Everest.
Yep.
It's in the sky, it's in the papers, there's drama,
Sure is.
There's horses swapping. I'm not sure. It's going to be a good race, but the one I'm really excited about is the Kosciuszko. The rain's around. I'm on the Monster early. Go boy, I love him.
You are. That boy loves the mud.
He loves the mud.
But Mike, hang on. Everest chat, back there a bit. Trapeze, you're going a bit soft here now.
Trapeze who, mate? I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, you might have just done your dough on a pre-post punt there.
Have, yeah.
Speaking of all this rain, Mike, it's here. Thursday plenty, Friday plenty in the forecast. But look, there's one thing out there I know you love to do, and that's study these Randwick types, because those ones that love to glide up that Randwick straight, they're the ones we need.
That's what the race guide's all about, not just about form but factors as well. So looking for those horses that like the Randwick conditions before they've even been to the track is such an important factor. Have a look at the race guide on Saturday morning and you'll see for yourself.
Well, I'll definitely be glued to that. And speaking of the key factors, Mike, take the viewers through the four.
Yeah, let's have a look at the big four key factors. Look at for all these races apart from the form. Obviously the form is the most important factor, but the next four in order progression, how your horse will improve on Saturday, including scope and stage of preparation. Distance at stage of prep, so important. Your horse needs to be fit, especially for the 2,000 metres. Track conditions, soft or heavy, we're not sure. There's so much rain forecast Friday and Saturday, but we never know till it comes. And position and run, not too much of a key factor on Saturday with the wet track.
Okay, well, let's rip into it. The first leg of the quad is the Roman Consul Stakes. Over the 1,200 metres, it's a Group 2, Mike. And look, plenty of three-year-olds this time of year, kicking on to the classics over a little bit longer. These are the sprinters that are staying at the 1,200. And in this race here, no last start winners. But I'll tell you one thing, Mike, that Sandbar is an extremely tough horse. Good to see him going around again.
Yeah, he just missed the placings last start in the Group 1, unfortunately. What a tough horse he is, but is he a wet tracker?
We'll see.
That's the big question with all these horses. Let's have a look at the first leg of the quaddie and see how this decent group race over 1,200 metres shapes up without Zeusane obviously now.
Yes.
Group 2, 1,200 metres, fair tempo if you're going forward, soft 6 to heavy 10. We know that's a big range, but we don't know on Thursday night what the track's going to be. It could even be a soft 5, who knows? And fair to off rails, the bias shouldn't matter too much. Your jockey just needs to get the horse through the mud.
So much to look at on the weather front. Let's have a look at the market now for the first leg of the quaddie. And Sandbar is at the top of the markets, $4.40, running well this time in, as I said. Jonker as well, pretty much done not too much wrong here, $4.80. Performer, the interesting horse of mine, $6.50. Our Merton coming up from Melbourne here, $8.50. And Caesar, after that Brisbane Winter Carnival, $15 into 10. So some good money there today. But Mike, $4.40 the field here. I'm looking forward to this race.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race, and the two favourites took each other on recently on a wet track, so we've got to have a look at that run to the Rose before the Golden Rose. Obviously, Jonker was scratched in that Group 1. Sandbar went on to come fourth, like we talked about before. Look, Jonker on pace, blinkers on, wet track, runs really, really well. Sandbar probably had his chance and just couldn't get in this day, Stu.
No, he couldn't. And there's a couple of little runs here. We've got Legend of Condor a little bit blocked, and Performer, Mike. I'm just really interested to see what you think of this run.
Yeah, Hugh Bowman's not doing much at all. Obviously, he might not be enjoying the track, but geez, it's hard to catch Performer, isn't it? And Bowman's just giving him a nice, easy time. The Legend of Condor was held up at a critical point, but looking on pace, it's all about Jonker, all about him on a wet track against two very good horses there. And he wasn't far away, was he, Stu?
No, and that is a wet track, all importantly, Mike. Let's jump now. We're talking of Slipper here with our Merton. This is right back in the year. Let's have a look here, because we saw how good he was this day. Obviously, Performer lost the rider. But look, this was the Todman, Mike, and after this, they were all talking about our Merton for the Slipper, so it's got to be a chance, you'd think.
Yeah, he went on to the Slipper, and obviously there was a bit of a wet track, and he didn't do too well. But let's have a look at this run and see how he goes. Comes to the inside, a big, strong, powerful type. You tend to worry about those types coming to a wet Randwick track. F-Troop on pace. He was bad first up in Melbourne, but he was lame. You can forgive him. And there goes the jockey there.
Yeah.
Performer not winning again for different reasons this time.
Never like seeing that on the track. There's a look at a couple of replays for the Roman Consul. Let's have a look at all the form and key factors, Mike, as we really get stuck into all the analysis here for the first of the quaddie.
Yeah, decent quality three-year-olds, but not a lot between them. On form, though, Sandbar and Jonker, you've got to say, based on group form recently, and Caesar, the Group 1 form, they're the best on form.
Okay, so light up Samba there, Mike. Let's get into key factors now, progression.
Yeah, 3-year-olds on the rise. We're not quite sure how they're going to improve, but Performer and Almerton have obviously got a lot more up their sleeve based on their last start. And F-Troop as well, he was lame. They can all make big improvement into this start.
Okay, so plenty of gold there, but it's still Samba just out in front. Distance a stage of preparation.
Not a lot of difference for the form. We can move on pretty quickly.
All right, now track conditions, Mike, it's obviously going to be the key factor this week.
Yeah, some big kickers in this show tonight for wet tracks. Got a couple of lengths, maybe 2 or 3. Samba doesn't move, he doesn't like it. Jonka loves it. Caesar, a huge run last start in the Group 1 over 1,600 metres. And Legend and Condor and Spin, they went really well on a sticky Randwick track the week before the replay we just looked at.
Okay, so we've got Jonka here and Caesar right there on top, Mike. Position in run, does this help us just sort out one of these to the front?
Nope, it's pretty much the same as well. 2 of those factors didn't make any difference at all.
All right, so they made their move mid-race there, Caesar and Jonka. Mike, Samba just a little bit left behind. So look, time for a bet in the first leg of the quad here. Obviously, all the rain coming down. Let's bring the market back up to see where we're going. But I can see, Mike, that Jonka we had just out in front, so $4.80, but hang on. $10 equal top rater. That's the way we're going to play this one, yeah?
Yeah, 4 pretty good raters there, aren't they? One's $4.80, one's $4.40. The other 2 are at big odds. And there's a couple on the edge of the market we're worried about. Legend of Condor and Performer. But we're looking at those top raters. We're looking at Caesar coming down from Brisbane. He was fantastic in the Group 1 last preparation. We think he's the one to beat. And Spin, that sticky Randwick run up the inside was really good as well. He's the other bet for us.
Okay, so it's Caesar for the best bet there, and the value is Spin in the first leg of the quaddie. Now we're on to our feature. It's the Moe and Shandon Spring Champion Stakes, and it's over the 2,000 metres for the 3-year-olds. And Mike, 4 out of the last 6 Gloaming Stakes winners have gone on to win this race, and that's exactly what Thinkin' Big's going to be trying to do. And I can only go back to that last start and just remember him cruising out in front there, those big strides. It was good to see.
Yeah, big strides, big horse, powerful horse, typical Waterhouse type, isn't he? I think he's a high shap. He'll be very hard to beat on Saturday. I usually love this race, but the conditions, the front runner, a short price favourite, I'm just not so sure. Let's have a look at the Group 1 2,000 metre race. It's a classic for the 3-year-olds on the way to the Derby down in Victoria. Soft 6 to heavy 10. Such testing conditions. The stamina they'll be called on, 2,000 metres on a heavy track potentially, will be a really big test for these 3-year-olds. Absolutely.
We'll be looking for that on Saturday, Mike. Let's have a look at the market now for the feature of the day. And there is that horse, Thinkin' Big, $3.50. On top there, as you'd expect, after that great win. Dealmaker, a really solid run last start, $7. Arameo, another last start winner there for Godolphin, $7.50. Tarka, oh so competitive, $8. Purple Sector, narrow runner up, $8.50. And some money here today, frankly awesome, into $8.50. Mickey Blue Eyes, another last start winner there, $9, Mike. So look, plenty of form here, but look, it is Thinking Big. We've mentioned why. Let's have a look at a couple of replays.
Yeah, we've got to have a look at the Gloaming dummy a couple of weeks ago. It's the logical lead-up run. It's 1,800 metres. They're progressing up in distance. Thinking Big off a freshen up. Thinking Big leading at a very steady tempo, and he got them off the bit chasing on the turns, Stu.
Look, a lot of punters love a horse that can just do this, lead them up, stack them up and just say goodbye. The big strides, you've mentioned it all, good horse.
Yeah, it looks like a fantastic win, doesn't it? I mean, the sectionals were very, very quick. It's at 11.4 from the 400 to the 200, so it's all about power at this stage and not too much about stamina. You've got to like the way Tarka hits the line. He just shapes up nicely there. The last section was the same as the winner. Yeah, both good runs from the first and second horse.
Well, speaking of Tarka, we've got to have a look now at probably the best 3-year-old heavy track form going around, and that's in the Stan Fox. So, Mike, let's have a look at Tarka here. This is obviously the race that the Autumn Sun struck a hell of a lot of trouble out the back, but we've got Tarka, Dealmaker and Irakanji in the race.
Well, you just can't miss this form, can you? When you look through your form guide and you're looking for decent heavy track references recently in your form guide and you see the Autumn Sun. I mean, he was a little bit unlucky, obviously, but I don't think he would have put panels on them. He obviously would have won. Dealmaker and Tarka, both huge runs. Dealmaker up the inside. Tarka really, once again, shaping up nicely to the line over the last 100 metres. He can stay this horse.
All right, well, they're the ones that have got to try and beat Thinkin' Big. As we have a look now, Mike, at all the form and all the key factors. Take us through it. Let's get into the analysis.
I was just remembering you backed the Autumn Sun there as well. That was a hard watch for you. Let's have a look. Form. Thinkin' Big, he won last start. Obviously gets a gold bar for form.
All right, Thinkin' Big out in front. Key factors time. Progression.
Yeah, looking for horses with progression. Look, we just don't know who's got the most progression. Big kickers for horses like Frankly Awesome, who's unbeaten in a couple of starts and could be anything. Purple Sector, he can improve up in distance as well.
Okay, and the distance, that stage of preparation, all important here?
Yeah, once again, they're up there for a reason, aren't they? Most of these horses should like the distance. Mickey Blue Eyes, maybe just a bit of a risk. It was only a steady tempo last week.
All right, plenty of gold, but Thinkin' Big out in front, the wet track.
This is the one that makes the difference. Thinkin' Big, just his style, a big, strong horse. He's won on the soft, I think, before. But it's going to be such a test for him on Saturday. Armayo is really good on a heavy track, or looks like a heavy track type. Dealmaker and Taka, we saw that form reference before.
Okay, we've got a real race here with five of them just within a length of each other. Position run, does that sort that out?
Don't think it's going to make a difference. All about the wet track on Saturday.
Over the 2,000 metres. All right, so it's Thinking Big, Dealmaker and Taka, all thereabouts, Mike. Time for a bet now in the feature of the day. Look, we've got this favourite, $3.50, definitely short enough. You've got a few in there that are pretty much levelling up on the form and the key factors. Let's have a look at those odds now. $7 and for Dealmaker and Taka for $8. Ooh, how are we going to play this one?
Yeah, pretty simple, isn't it? Again, once again, Thinking Big. Look, we're terrified of him. He could be a serious horse. He could be a Group 1 horse for the future.
Yep.
Such good breeding, such a good trainer. But that heavy track reference is just too good for us to resist. So we've got to go for the other two horses who have raced each other before and they're going to be so strong at 2,000 metres. Dealmaker and Taka, the same form reference. They both love the mud. They're the ones for us each way.
All right, 2,000 metres on the heavy track this weekend. There's a look at the first two legs of the quaddie at Royal Randwick. Stick around and we'll come back and wrap it up after the break. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by the raceguide.com.au. We're up to the third leg of the quaddie this weekend at Royal Randwick, and it is the Ank Stakes over the mile for the girls. And Mike, a small field of 9, one of your favourite horses in here in Dixie Blossoms, and well, some serious form behind Avilius here as well. I speak of I Am Serious. This horse does not have to chase Avilius today. He's down in Melbourne.
Yeah, some great form lines. Avilius goes down to Melbourne, obviously 2,500 metres. We talked about him potentially peaking on his run.
Yep.
We'll see what happens on Saturday. We'll be watching that closely, won't we, Stu? But two great mares, two great wet trackers in this race. It's going to be a great mile race for the mares, the second last leg of the quaddie. Let's have a look at the way the race shapes up. Only a small field, so maybe the tempo is interesting for this one. If you've got a leader in this race, you could be beneficial. Just a steady tempo, not too many going forward. Soft 6 to heavy 10, you definitely need wet trackers.
Let's have a look at the market now to see if we can find those wet trackers. And as we have a look, it's I Am Serious. Pretty dominant favourite, $2.80. Definitely getting into that short range now. Dixie Blossoms had some support, $4.40 into the $3.70. Shamook, that was a great last start win right there, $4. Princess Posh back into some form as well, $8. Mandillion up on the pace, $8.50. But Mike, I'm serious, $2.80. This is one for the punters, isn't it? It might just get out on Saturday, but they've got to weigh that up, $2.80 in this race.
It's so hard to tell what this market will do because Dixie Blossoms will have a look at the replay. We're not quite sure how this fantastic mare is going. And I say she's fantastic because I won a bit of money on her. I've lost a bit of money on her as well. But this is 1,400 metres last start. Her stablemate Daisy Doom did nothing. Dixie Blossoms did a little bit, but she was nowhere near good enough for the winner, Stu.
No, the winner that was well back this day, Shamook, out in front, and well, Mike, the money came and delivered.
Yeah, the money came and they thought they had it here, but Champagne Cuddles, doesn't she fight? Shamook fights as well, though, up to 1,600 metres. Should be okay for her, but she did peak a little bit over 1,500 last prep, so we're not sure about that. But it's all about the wet tracker. Dixie Blossoms back on the inside. You can watch this run over and over again. Is she going well enough to win over 1,600 metres on Saturday? That's the big question.
And the stablemate Daisy just out the back there as well.
Hit the line a little bit though. Yeah.
All right, well, we've got to weigh up this price for the favourite now. It's got some serious wet track form, and I speak of I Am Serious. Let's have a look back in the winter. This was a decent win, Mike. Absolutely love the chase. This was Randwick, and importantly, it was heavy.
Yeah, she's a tough, athletic, consistent type. This was a heavy track at Randwick. When she got there, you thought she was going to love it. She balanced up, and geez, wasn't she strong, Stu?
Absolutely loves the chase. Look at her just click through the gears now. The mud's coming up. That's probably going to be just what it's like on Saturday, but we know this horse loves it.
Yeah, loves it. Big surge, back from 2,000 metres on a testing track. You just hope she doesn't get too far back and they quicken too quickly. But she obviously loves the wet, and her form references are simply the best in this race.
Yeah, good replay that. Ease down late. Let's have a look at all the analysis now, Mike. Form and key factors. Take it away.
Let's have a look. Form, I Am Serious at the weight. She gets the gold bar for form. Light her up.
Okay, so just a favourite there on the form. Key factors, time, progression.
Yeah, looking for horses with upside. Look, Shamook, she's definitely got upside. She's only lightly raced, and the Pinnacle, she can improve into her preparation as well. She hit the line okay at Newcastle first up.
All right, so I'm Serious and Shamook as we get the race started here. Distance at stage of prep.
Yeah, a couple down the bottom that could light the distance, including the Pinnacle, but not too much to say here.
Okay, so still got these two in front. Track conditions, we know I Am Serious loves the heavy.
This is the one. Big kickers to I Am Serious, big kickers to Dixie Blossoms. They are wet track Randwick types. The rest of the horses will have their work cut out beating them.
All right, well, that pretty much says it all. 2 lengths there, I Am Serious. Now, position in run, who does this help?
She holds her spot 2 lengths in front, I Am Serious.
All right, well, look, we've said it all the way through here, Mike. $2.80, $2.90. The punters have got to think, is that the right price? That track conditions just really shot her to the front, didn't she? So let's have a look now. Time for a bet. Are we going to take the shorts, or is your favourite mare just going to come into play here at 370?
You can never bet with your heart. Maybe small bets with your heart, but you'll lose in the long run. And we laid one at $2 with a couple of lengths margins, didn't we? Miss Fabulous, and they only just got beat.
True.
So it's all about the odds. It's all about the margin. But 280 for us, when you know she's going to like the wet, when you know she's so reliable, that's good enough for us. I Am Serious is simply the bet. It'll be so hard to beat on Saturday. This race is perfect for her.
All right, well, there it is. I Am Serious. No need for a value bet. Let's just get in there, stuck into the best bet for the third leg.
Best bet of the day.
Let's wrap it up now for the fourth leg of the quaddie, and it is the Winning Edge Merchandise Sprint over the 1,200 metres. It's a benchmark 78. And Mike, a full field here to end the day. And good to see Horsham trainer Paul Pruska up. He's got Artie's Dream Winner in town, and I reckon there's one reason he's up here, mate. These heavy tracks and soft track stats, they don't lie. He's targeted a good race here.
Definitely. Looks like a mutter, not dual accepted. It's on the bus. Are we on the bus? This horse is coming up to Sydney, and I reckon it's going to be very hard to beat on a wet track on Saturday. Let's have a look at the way the last race of the day shapes up. 1,200 metres, benchmark 78 only. If it's raining, it's going to be chopped up, and they will be coming wide by this stage of the day. Let's have a look now at the market for the Get Out Stakes. And it is Warranty that's heading, these are really open market at $6. Dawn there, also $6. Metamorphic, $7. There's that horse we spoke about. Artie's Dream Winner, $7. Zanzibar, $7.50. Tchaikovsky, interesting to see what you think of this horse, how he's going this preparation at $9. $6 a field here, Mike. We are set for a ripper to finish. This is such an open market, isn't it? Which makes it look so tough, but we start to warm to one of these horses. We'll look at the analysis, we'll look at it in a second, and we'll look at one of those horses now. Artie's Dream Winner, we mentioned him being her being a wet tracker. Let's have a look. 2 starts ago, 1,200 metres, soft 7, down in Adelaide. What happens next year?
Well, you could just say this horse loves the mud. This is a big wet win, goes away, and look, I love the way, we'll see it in a minute, just eased up late, plenty more in store.
Yeah, last 2 wet track wins, both eased up on the line. I think the heavy 10 win a few starts ago, eased up at the end as well, which is a great sign for Saturday with the rain around. And she went to an open mares class last start, probably 10 points out of her grade, and she almost won that on a dry track. So lots of good signs for her.
All right, well, there's one that loves a wet track. Let's have a look at another one now. This is Warranty. We're going to go back around about 12 months here, Mike, but importantly, this is Randwick. It was 1,400. It was a soft 6 this day.
Yeah, a lot of Sydney punters like to stick to Sydney form, obviously, so let's have a look at probably one of the best form references in recent times. This is Warranty on pace, a sticky Randwick track with ground break chasing. He's a pretty good horse, but he couldn't get past a tough horse in the lead history.
No, look, we've seen a few tough horses in his replays tonight. This is another one, just shoots clear there. Loves the way she finishes off, and look, good win.
Yeah, not easy to do, picking up in that sticky Randwick track, so only certain horses can do it. Watching him get up the rise and watching it kick away, both great signs for Saturday.
Yeah, showed some good toughness there. There's a look at a couple of replays to end the day. Now, it's all the analysis time, Mike. Form and key factors. Let's get the punters home a winner.
Yeah, we've kind of warmed to one horse already, haven't we? We'll see where we end up. Lots with similar form, especially at the top of the ratings. Artie's Dream Winner and Top Striker, though. He was good last start, wasn't he? Light them both up for form.
Sure was. All right, there's the form. What about the key factors?
Yeah, looking for progression, horses that can improve. Tchaikovsky, everyone's going to talk about him this week. He's the one with big upside, coming way back in grade. Superstar Bob, he's got upside too. He's a nice horse.
Okay, open market and very open here on the key factors. What about distance at Stager Prep?
Yeah, Chalk hit the line well last start, so distance is a plus for them, but not too many other positives. Dawn first up over 1,200 metres, might peak. Zanzibar up to 1,200 metres, a bit of a risk. And the rest just okay.
All right, still plenty in this, Mike. Now the wet track, what's going to happen here? Who's lighting up?
This is the big one. We looked at the 2 replays. We looked at them for a reason. There is a big kicker for that Melbourne horse.
All right, we've seen a few really kick clear with the track conditions. What about positioning run?
We almost could have left this page out all night long, Stu. Nothing doing again.
All right, when it comes to ratings, Mike, it's time for a bet. Let's have a look at all these prices. Artie's Dream Winner just going right ahead there once we saw the key factor on the wet track. We know that was a decent price. It's going to be up there somewhere. There she is, $7 there. So 2 lengths out in front. Warranty there, the favourite, $6. Look, some decent value in behind here. Top Striker, as you said. Chalk leads a list of others there, but Artie's Dream Winner, Mike, $7. We'll take some value in the last.
Yeah, we said before, Artie's on the float. She's coming to Sydney and we are on the bus. Everything just seems too obvious. Down in grade, back to a wet track, apprentice on board. The conditions suit. It's going to be so hard to beat on Saturday. When the rain comes, we reckon it'll definitely shorten, but just watch out for those scratchings. Top Striker, a good each-way play. He likes the wet too. Okay, good luck to Paul Pruska and connections there in the last. Mike, it's quaddie time. I think we went down by about a nose last week. I can't believe it was Hartnell that let it down. It would have paid as well.
Let's get it back this week. There's some serious bets here that we've highlighted. Those that especially love the wet track. I can think we're going pretty wide.
You said you're going to sack me after last week, after a couple of months without a winner, but maybe you knows I've got a reprieve here, Stu, but maybe only a couple of weeks left before you take the reins on these quaddies. Luckily, the hot seat's going on. Let's have a look at the quaddie and see what we've done. We've gone a little bit wide again. The first couple of legs, race 6, we've left out some of the favourites. Jonker's definitely in there. Sandbar's not on a wet track. Performer, Legend of Condar, Spin and Caesar, definitely great $10, $11 chances. Race 7, we're just not sure about thinking big. We like Taka and Dealmaker. There's a few with upside down the bottom of the weights. It's all about I'm Serious in race 8. And race 9, we almost went Artie one out. I'm definitely doing one of my quaddies just with the Melbourne horse for sure.
All right, so I'm Serious, the only standout. The rest of it's pretty wide. 83% there for the $100. And so, well, speaking of the $100, Mike, you mentioned the hot seat. It was back in really good form last week. A nice return. What are we going to play this week?
Yeah, $50 in the bank last week. At least it's a pineapple, better than a loss, I guess. Let's have a look at the hot seat 100. And we're going wide early or value early, then 2 big bets to end the day. $10 on Spin at $12, $10 on Caesar, down from Queensland at $10. And Legend of Condor, he does like the wet, just in case. There's the 2 we like in race 7 over 2,000 metres. And the best bets of the day, you can do it all up as well. I Am Serious at 280 and Artie's Dream Winner. I reckon it'll jump at about 4, Stu's, my guess.
All right, so plenty of money to come for Artie's Dreamer. We think on Saturday, look, the heavens are going to open, Mike. It's the crowd's just got to get out there, though. It's Spring Carnival. Get to Randwick this weekend and also head to the raceguide.com.au for all your horse profiling needs. I can tell you one thing, you're going to need them this weekend as they come up the Randwick Rise on the Race Guide.
Enjoy Spring Champion Day.